everyone. Welcome to the Global Arts in Medicine Fellowship Ignite Talk with me, Gherdai Hassell. I am a Bermuda-born, multidisciplinary artist based in Manchester, UK. My work spans collage, painting, site-specific installation, and textiles. I am also the host of the Artifacts podcast, which looks at bridging the gap between art and wellness. I believe that storytelling has the power to transform our lives. I started the Artifacts podcast and public talks to share some of these stories with artists. We need more spaces to normalize creativity as part of public health and wellness, and not just as an afterthought. My story is deeply rooted in my pursuit of personal truth, and that is living my life as a maker, conservator, researcher, and student of art. Art has truly saved my life. This is where it all began. In a dream, you saw a way to survive, and you were full of joy. This photo was taken just weeks before I made the decision to dedicate my life to image making. Art allowed me to be more, to imagine more, and it continues to teach me about the power of writing one's own story. From a young age, I always knew that I wanted to be an artist, but never had a blueprint on how to go about being one. I studied public health in undergrad and then went to law school. I learned there that I wanted to be an artist. I decided that I would bet on myself, which really meant choosing myself. I learned eventually, and what I know for sure now, is that the depth to which one's art or work can go is relational to the depth to which we live life. Art has taught me that purpose can change our lives, and what we make of ourselves is connected to a power or life source. And that is what I'm actually interested in, the connection between creative living, art, and holistic health that comes from within. So I left law school in 2016, packed up my things, and moved to China. There, I studied at the China Academy of Art. China was single-handedly the hardest experience that I ever had to endure. I became who I am there. China represents for me a period of deep and rapid transformation in my life. It prepared me mentally for all the rejection and hardships that I'd experienced on my path to becoming a professional artist. It was there in China where I developed a spiritual and wellness practice that incorporated meditation, prayer, movement, manifestation, and mindfulness. When I became an artist, I thought my work was just about aesthetics. But when people encountered the work, they would tell me that your art makes me feel lighter. It makes me feel seen. And that's when I realized that art is actually medicine. So I began combining art with wellness practices, leading workshops where people could make, breathe, and reflect. I saw people leave standing taller, breathing deeper, and connecting with themselves again. I also work with an arts organization called Venture Arts, where I work with learning disabled artists. In my studio, I use inks, textiles, and storytelling to transform historical trauma into spaces for reclamation. I imagine that it's my laboratory for reimagining more. In community settings, art becomes collective medicine. We share materials, but also we share our burdens. Creativity dissolves the borders between us. Through residencies, I've deepened my research into art as a tool for personal and collective restoration. I've seen work across age, culture, and language. I've created projects at sites of historical Black trauma, transforming them into places of reflection, beauty, and hope. Healing is not forgetting, it's remembering differently. My art has taken me all over the world. I have had the immense pleasure to travel to Cape Town, South Africa, to China, to Brussels, to Bamako, Mali for residencies as well as international biennials, to Cuba. The work has also traveled to exhibitions in the Bahamas, the United Kingdom, USA. And next week, I have the immense pleasure of representing my country at the Carafesta Barbados 2025. Art is tactile. When we create, we anchor ourselves in the present. I believe that art is participatory, where everyone is a co-creator, and healing happens, not just in the making, but also in the viewing. This fellowship is a chance to scale this work, to build frameworks that make art and healing accessible to all, especially marginalized communities. If we want healthier societies, we must treat both the body and the soul. Art is not a luxury, it's a necessity. I am here to continue weaving care into creation and creation into care, because in my world, art heals. I'm a firm believer that we're all artists, and we are co-creating the lives that we want. Life is a stage, and we're all performing. You can paint your own reality, write your own story, and become your life's own artist. I'm here to ask you, what will your story be? And how will you use what you have to serve? Thank you.